Your Day Out podcast is proudly sponsored by Titan SARMS, Precision Wellness Group, and Pure Liberty Labs.
Any better? Let's see.
Yeah, that'll work. That's good. Really sets off the undertones of your whiteness.
I know shit. I need a black background so that.
Cody Halfpop, not poop. As I have come to know you affectionately. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing well, man. It's going to be a serious talk, but, we got to try to liven it up, man, with humor. So right off the bat, actually, I better not, because I'm going to have to edit the fuss if I want to put the Special Forces Foundation label on it. D will forgive us, or at least you. Right off the bat, kill one, marry one, fuck one. Sydney Sweeney, Nancy Pelosi, but in her 20s, or Nancy Reagan.
Sounds like I can't pick all three. So.
Kobayashi Maru. I'll show you all of them. How are you, man?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, dude. I am tired. Holy shit, I am tired. And it's one of those things where, like, we were talking about it the other day. It's like I bring on sleep experts. It's like, you got to make sure you go to bed at the right time and make sure you don't overdo it. And I'm like, yep.
And then you send me messages at 2:14 in the morning. Like, hey, man, that favor you asked me, I totally did it, and I did it way over the top. So thanks.
Good morning. The mission must go on. It must be handled with love and compassion and extreme prejudice. Yeah, dude. It's we come from a community of overachievers and overdoers, and I love this world, man. I love what I do, and it's like I don't like to half-ass it, so it's like 100%, man. Gotta go for broke. But I'm really excited that at least holiday season's here. Season 7's wrapping up. We're gonna take a pause for the Thanksgiving, and then for Christmas, and a big plug-in right now for the holiday season. Right now, I am asking everybody listening. I'm airing this. I'm going to fucking put this on the docket, get it out there. Please, guys, do me a favor. You see this QR code right here? Please scan that and donate to the Special Forces Foundation. Cody Halfpop is a great member of the foundation, and he is at the forefront of the fight against suicide and take care of our brothers. I always say that it takes a community to take care of our Green Beret once we get on the outside. That's the truth. I didn't have a lot of the issues and hurdles that I've experienced until I got on the outside. And I was fortunate, and yeah, I'm going to say the privilege word, that I had friends and family that were there for me to help me up and great providers. But there's a lot of us out there that aren't there. And the main nonprofit out there that's showing up for our Green Berets and their families is the Special Forces Foundation. So please, please, please scan the QR code and donate today. And I'll do you an even better one. If you donate $25 or more today, send me a screenshot at Security Halt Instagram's page, and I will get you into the running for our November and December giveaway extravaganza. We're doing all sorts of stuff. I'm giving up Whoop 5.0s. I'm giving away some Titan SARMS. I'm giving away a custom knife by Aurora Boris Forge and some amazing supplements from Pure Liberty Labs. And I recently got donated some money, but it has to be used for a very special giveaway. We are now giving away a high point pistol. I know, not exciting, but at least you have a throwaway gun. So you don't have to go buy a dog shit piece of shit pistol. You can get one for free. Look at it. I mean, it's the most ridiculous pistol out there. It's garbage, but you don't have to spend your money on it. You get it for free as long as you're 21 and older. All right. If you're enlisted, maybe I'll flex on that one. But lots of stuff added almost on a daily basis I'll be giving away for free. All you have to do is donate $25 or more. So please go right here or go to the episode description and click on that link. All right. I got that out. No editing on that one. That's awesome. Very lucky. Fortunate. Cody, you're at the forefront of something that is truly unique that I haven't seen in a lot of other nonprofits. The QRF initiative with the Special Forces Foundation. When we first started working together, it was something that I realized that you don't just take lightly. You're 100% involved in this. And as a peer-to-peer support facilitator, I understand the gravity of it. I understand how much it takes. But dude, I want to, sit down with you and peel back the layers to this. How did you get started with this? And please, like, give us your full story and background into how you got involved in the fight to save our brothers.
Yeah. So, I think 2020, the 10th group, we had 8 suicides in 6 months, between guys on the compound, uh, guys I'd served with at 10th group, and what started as me kind of calling to let guys know. Obviously, it was an epidemic. We all heard the 22 day, that stuff. Um, so I started, or I called. I think when a friend of ours, Joey Pfister, succumbed to the demons, I went and called some of his old teammates who I knew were out, and I hadn't heard from in a while. And my thought was, I'd like him to hear it from me instead of off of Facebook halfway through a bottle or something. So I called a few guys, and we talked about it, bummed out. But the couple of the guys who'd been out for 8, 9, 10 years were like, "Hey, good to hear from you, man. I hadn't heard from anybody since I got out," and that kind of broke my heart. I felt a little bit guilty about that. I thought, man, where the brotherhood begins, we have that written over, was it
Yeah.
Nasty Nick or out there at Camp McCall? Because man, we really just end it as soon as we take off the uniform. And I've come to give myself some grace and all of us some grace on that. We'll talk about that later, but that's where it started. So I was like, man, we need to do better about calling guys. And so I started this thing. If somebody's name comes up, talking shit about him, whatever, I call. So a lot of my calls will start out with, "Hey, Denny, I was just talking shit about you," and then whatever. And when you call guys, you find when you make a commitment to call people regularly, you find guys that aren't doing great, particularly if they're in that transition space, if they're navigating whatever. And I I just started running into guys. Most guys are doing well, or somewhere in the middle, but you'd run into guys that weren't doing well. And a guy at Care Coalition, Scott Galuska, one of the buddies I connected with after that suicide, reconnected with. Uh, I started asking him for help with Care Coalition, the SOCOM Warrior Care Program, and he said, sometimes like we're pretty slow, man, but not that SOCOM Warrior Care Program, but they're the speed of a regular kind of benevolence organization, right? They farm it out. I don't want to denigrate them. They're incredible. They're super helpful, great program, helping a lot of folks. But he had connected me with some more rapid response with Paul Watson with Special Forces Foundation, Ignacio Garza. And so when I started having these needs or guys in crisis or an immediate need filled, I started calling the foundation. And after about 3 or 4 calls, with one, probably our first QRF, before we could really called it that. I think Dean Goebel was the who coined that term. Um, Guy in Dallas collapsed. He was not dissimilar to the Tesla situation that happened over New Year's last year. But he was in a mental health crisis, lost his mind, hadn't been sleeping, misuse of like prescription medications, alcohol, and he collapsed in an airport in Dallas. He was not supposed to be going to Dallas, but he was on his way to kill himself in front of his family in a outlandish way. Um, and he, fortunately for him, his heart gave out and he collapsed in Dallas. Wasn't supposed to be in Dallas. Flight got rerouted. Um, a buddy called me. Hey, someone told me your name. I got to go down to this guy. He called out my name when he woke up in the hospital. So um, I don't know how I can help you, man. Let me get your flights reimbursed. I don't know what to tell you. And he goes,
I'm
okay. I was
not
like,
DTS, bro.
yeah. So I was like, let me see if I can get like your flights reimbursed and hotel on the other side, so you're not incurring that cost. So I got off the phone with him, made that request for the foundation. They're like, absolutely, we can book his flight, whatever. He went down there, and then I thought, you know what, I can do more. And so I called like the SFA down in Dallas. I reached out to the network. Who do I know in Dallas, Texas? and found like an old team leader from like the team I was retiring from. They had an old team leader that was from Dallas, guy I'd never met before, but they gave me his number. And within maybe an hour and a half, he was at the hospital bed with that guy. And then the like chapter president was with him. And like within 4 or 5 hours, I think there were 6 GBs at his bedside. Like, all right, dude, we'll do this together. And it had the desired effect. This guy, who I'm not going to say his name just because it's the weakest, most awful moment of his life, but he's pretty adamant to share his own story, so I don't want to rob him of that. But he woke up and like it was like just getting a hug from the brothers. And it was like, hey, we're all going through it. There were guys there that was like, dude, I'm going through the same thing. Some of the stuff had gone, guys who'd gone through vets, guys who had done some other like mental health retreats. Um, and it had the desired effect. And within 5 days of his collapse in Dallas, we had him at Warriors Heart, drying out, which is the second time I've been on our show, second time I'm going to reference because I think that place is amazing.
It's saving lots of lives, man. It's amazing what they're doing.
Yeah, and he had the total life change, and he's working in Korea right now. I think he's got this sweet $250,000 a year job. He is reconciled with his ex-wife and his kids. He has a sweet job where they fly him back to Germany where they live once a month. The guy's crushing life. He's in a good relationship with this amazing woman who's also like a positive force for his journey. And he's giving back. He's reaching out to guys. He's helped guys. Just a really cool story. That was our first kind of QRF. If you don't, can I like explain why I think QRF
Absolutely,
is
dude.
such a good term?
That's
So,
why we're doing this.
I hate giving credit to you freaking nasty, lazy warrant officers, but Dean calls it QRF, and I thought that was so perfect. I mean, it's exactly what it was, but for maybe listeners of yours that don't know, like QRF, Quick Reaction Force, if you've ever had to call in a QRF, like really needed to call in a QRF, it is dude, I'll get goosebumps talking about it. It is an emotional event. Like, I think of one, you're reflecting like, is that letter I wrote good enough to my loved ones before I left? Did I scrub my hard drive? Did I, who's back to take care of my stuff? Like, was it enough? I mean, it's a pretty emotional event. And then, the cavalry arrives, as it is, and you start fucking down the enemy. And it's like your big brother shows up and you're like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, or the resupply arrives or whatever. But I mean, it's in a real bad QRF situation, you thought it was over and that's it. And so the joy of seeing people come over the horizon, in the gun trucks or the coming over like in a helicopter, it's an emotional event. And so I think it resonates with our community. It definitely resonates with me. And so I think the name is cool and important.
Yeah,
but
it is.
I know probably most of the guys listening to that was like patronizing, but for those who aren't, I think it's a good thing to hear. I sometimes forget that everybody doesn't know what a QRF it means and what an important facet that is of what guys need. So
yeah, it's one thing that I know intimately, man. It's when you're in it, you don't want to reach out. You absolutely do not want to reach out. And having somebody that will show up and not only offer common humanity by telling you you're not alone in this, that you're also struggling, but that it's willing to be able to like share a resource and say like, dude, like we can do something about this. That's the powerful part, man. Like you're not just suffering together. You have somebody that's showing up that's saying like, dude, like we can get you the fuck out of here somewhere today. This episode is brought to you by Pure Liberty Labs. Quality supplements designed to elevate your health and performance. Check out their full line of quality supplements. Whether you're looking for whey protein, pre-workout, creatine, or a super greens drink, Pure Liberty Labs has you covered. Use my code SecurityHalt10 at checkout today.
Well, last month, we had that one, I think early October. Guy who's also crushing it, who went to Warriors Heart in Virginia. He one of our own guys, Marty, his wife reached out to Marty Acosta, another phenomenal guy on the ground, getting his hands dirty.
Yeah.
He had called, his wife had called him. It's a guy I had just talked to, because I call people relentlessly. Him and I had gone to MLC together years ago, like in 2017, something like that. But and so at least I had called because a lot of people weren't answering, and him and I had talked about the struggles. He was going to be a stay-at-home dad, and I remember thinking, like, well, that's a tough man. Like,
Yeah.
that's something I'd want to be excited about, but it would be hard, the day-to-day grind. It's that when we already lose that purpose in transition and retirement. Such a noble endeavor, but I was like, well, it's going to be a tough
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, everybody has this like romantic idea of Colonel Matrix from the opening of Commando. It's let me tell you, I tried that for fucking like 2 days with a newborn.
Brutal.
It does not work.
But yeah,
you are equipped for many things as a Green Beret.
That's not one of them.
That's not one of them.
Although we ran adult daycares all over the globe, like.
Oh.
But that guy, so called him. He answered. He had taken a bunch of pills and was, I think he was drinking wine, which is like the softest way of doing that, man. Come on, like that should have ended it right there. Like, hey, dude, think about this right now. You're drinking like a Pinot Gris and taking pills. Come on, dude, you can do better than that.
I have to imagine it was a boxed wine or the bagged wine.
Slapping the bag at the end.
Yeah.
But
one last time.
But I talked to him, and one of the things I said was, like, he was been a stay-at-home dad. He was super proud of that. But I asked him, hey, you got a favorite kid, man? And he was like, what? I was like, dude, statistically, one of them's going to kill themselves. If you do this today, you're losing a kid. And you may have some struggles with your wife right now and some other stuff, but I bet you don't hate your kids. And one of them's going to do it if you do this today. And his colorful language to me with regard to that wasn't great, but it did have a little bit of a pivot in our conversation. We had guides converging on his location to get to him, to QRF him, right? But that's the reality. I mean, if nothing anchors you, like one of your kids, man, it's a statistical certainty. The brotherhood, the regiment, the foundations, the benevolence, we'll try. We'll get your kids in mental health, care. We'll give it our best, man. But the statistics, the odds are against them.
The other thing too that we don't talk about is it spreads like wildfire within our community, man. Like I've been out long enough to watch it. I've had peer-to-peer groups with dudes, and the moment one guy decides to take that route, you immediately have to open up the aperture and look at everybody else around him, because it starts happening more often.
Jeff Dardia calls it an S-Fest.
Yeah.
Because it never ends with one, right? It's like, it's your kids, that's a certainty, but the brothers there's gonna be more. And it's dark, but suicide season is upon us, right? This right around Veterans Day until, spring, when the sun comes back out, things get dark.
And during fighting season, if we are looking in the summer, that's what I've seen. It's another metric.
Yep. Right around Memorial Day.
Yeah.
There's another little uptick. And so, like, we talk about indicators and warnings, right? We got a lot, 18 Foxes, whatever.
Yeah.
But we've all had the intel brief. So, that one indicators is the season, right? The timeline. Two, we can talk. The most recent one, we knew it. It was pulling off team threads. Ultimately, it's isolation, but what isolation looks different in a technological age.
Absolutely, man. Let's dive into that. There's we're still putting out data and metrics and information before that's been populated and developed before the GWAT. That's a reality. Like, we need updated stuff, and you're hitting on something that people need to realize. We are living in a modern age. We have to be aware of new things like removing yourself from a signal chat. Like, that's a pretty big one now. Like, Discord, when you guys are online playing with all your friends and you got brothers you played with since like fucking 2013. That dude leaves the group chat on Discord. He stops playing the game. Dude, reach out.
It's and why not, right? See someone leave the text thread. I mean, this one's near to me, like
Yeah.
the most recent one, it happened, he pulled off a bunch of text threads, and it could be as innocuous as like they got a new phone, right? It could be like, you're annoying. I don't like you guys anyway, and so I pulled off the thread. Or I'm tired of those two John in that thread, and I wake up with 50 notifications, and that's fine. That's fine. But what did it hurt to be like, oh man, you good?
Exactly.
And because at the same timeline that one guy pulled off, two other guys did, called them, or used cutouts to guys who knew them better to reach out, and they weren't doing good. One guy was going through a nasty custody thing. The other one, also like a divorce. But those are your indicators and warnings. So like, if the first sign is pulling off a text thread, follow up, right? And find out 1 + 1 is 2, right? So if like they're going through custody stuff, or they start talking about it, hey man, that's another indicator. And it may not be suicide, it may be, but it may also be some negative stuff. But it's a good reason to check in and insulate somebody, right?
Absolutely.
So other isolation things I see besides pulling off the team threads, blowing off like team gatherings or old team gatherings, like even like the kid's birthday party, like whatever. And again, may not be anything, but it's, why not follow up? Why
Yeah,
not?
dude.
Everything going on, just see if there's any other factors that are adding to that. Your bro that sends like the most grossly inappropriate memes, or just the all Sydney Sweeney text thread, whatever that looks like. uh they're no longer, those aren't getting shared, like they're blowing off. You're not getting your thumbs up or your inappropriate comment, or whatever. Like that to me now is what isolation looks like in our
Yeah, absolutely.
new kind of age. So
Bro,
like,
if you drop a hot fire meme of double cheeked up Nancy Pelosi with the twins out and your friend doesn't react,
oddly specific, Denny, oddly specific. Do I need to
you
check my
need to
inbox?
Yes. You be prepared to be fully torqued. This is the hottest image generated by AI today. And I'm trying to liven it up because it's important to understand that this can get really sad, can get really, like, it's a serious issue. It is. It really is. But we got to understand, like, we got to be able to touch it. We got to be able to talk about it. We got to be able to understand it and see it as a human problem. Doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're a human being, man. Like, we spend so much of our lives in these careers where we're made to believe that we are we're unbreakable, that we are invincible, that we are the best of the best, top performers. And then when we get out and we start dealing with real everyday human being shit that is not getting on the back of a CH-47, that it's not fast roping, that it's not doing free fall, that it's not doing dive operations, we tend to think that we're broken, that we frail, that we are not the person we used to be. And those thoughts can quickly snowball into, I don't belong here. I need to check out. There's no way I can overcome this. And that couldn't be further from the truth. And I'm telling you from somebody that almost did something really stupid. And I am so glad that I got help. And it's just that one moment of vulnerability, man. We're just one moment away from getting help. We just have to be willing to ask for it. And that's the toughest fucking thing to do in the world. But that will literally open the door for you to finally get care, finally get treatment.
I think, like, too, acknowledging there's still, I think we're doing better, but there's still like this concept that you're the only one who's struggling, who's like feeling that way. And I mean, there's a lot going on. 20 years at war, it's over.
Yeah.
It's easy to fall into like, what was it for, right? We spent 20 years to
Yeah.
replace the Taliban with the Taliban. I lost friends. I lost, my soul. I and for what, right? Like,
Yeah.
why? What was it? What was my legacy? Why did I do that? Um, on top of, the end of your purpose, on top of, um, guilt, and then coming back into your relationships and like your wife was willing to forgive and your kids are willing to forgive while you were deploying all the time. But like you're not deploying anytime. You won. You got to the end. What's your problem? Why do you still suck? Why are you still an abrasive, quick reactionary like asshole, Um and so we're all feeling it. I think all of us, if we do an honest assessment, are feeling it. And if we could be more candid about it and share, like, dude, I played the hokey pokey with the pistol one night. Um, the just because you're feeling those things also like, and you don't act on them, but I think acknowledging that stuff that we've considered a lot of us. I've considered it. It's gone through my COA development. Like, well, there's always this. And thankfully I've not fallen to that, but it's happened and it happens to a lot of us and you're not alone in that. My first lesson with that is I went through a colon cancer scare in 2020, so I'll be
Oh,
real vulnerable
fuck.
with you. Uh,
Yeah.
but I was having like 10 to 12 bowel movements a day, blood, liquid. Started in Afghanistan, chalked it up to like, here we are, we're in this
Yeah.
shithole country, like, and I like the local food, so I'll keep eating the foot bread and the kebabs and just come what may. And sometimes on an hop, I got to squat on a wall and take care of business. And then it didn't go away when I came home. Shortly thereafter, COVID hit. Couldn't get my butthole probed, even though I wanted to get a colonoscopy and get it taken a look at. Um, and so like I was having no shit actual shit accidents like where like couldn't make it. I was sharting and it was in or I was like on the toilet constantly and whatever and so like kind of embarrassing but well I mean super embarrassing but I mean but
Man.
anyway so I started sharing that though like I think at one of our company things it was like I did something and afterwards two dudes came up to me like hey bro that happens to you too like I gotta wear a man pon is what the guy told me. I was like I'm not that bad yet holy um, but then the three of us started like a group thread and started sharing like diet stuff, whatever. And then it grew to like 12, 15 guys that were all going through it. It was like, holy shit, none of us were talking about it and we weren't fixing it. And so now, like every once in a while, someone will come in on that thread and chat about it. But that made me realize, like, man, if we just bring this stuff to light, we can actually resolve it. And so that's a very dirty, gross, like explanation or
That's
analogous
real, man.
to whatever. But dudes are going through it, and you're not alone in that. You're not the only one doing that. And if we could just share and talk about it, we start to solve it. So in the same way, if you're going through it, you got guilt stuff, relationships, no shortage of divorces, custody stuff, awful relationships, stuff like that. Like that's not unique to you. Share that, get in the community and talk about it, bring it to light, and then maybe you can solve it. Like, yeah, it's self-inflicted because I blow up on my wife or I'm disconnected from my kids or I'm whatever. Well, then you can start talking about and sharing it and figure out solutions. You frame the problem, you develop the enemy COA or enemy's disposition, composition, and then you can start figuring out how to attack, right? And so that's just the raw analogy of
Dude,
the same. So
it's so true, man. Like suffering for the sake of suffering alone, it does you and everybody else around you no good. Like when you're able to take your suffering and put it to use by sharing and talking about it, you help other people. Like if you were to just continue to suffer in silence and not share what you were going through or talk about it, everybody else around you dealing with that would continue suffering. But you, like you said, you were vulnerable enough at one moment, just for a little bit, and that allowed somebody else to be vulnerable. And then you guys formed a little LGOP, a little community of people talking about this, sharing resource, trying to advocate and change. And before you know it, positivity snowballs. It grows into an interaction with somebody that has the ability to actually like help you get somewhere and get some real answers and be able to say like, hey, that this is definitively what you're dealing with. Like, stop suffering in silence. Stop fighting this fight by yourself. Stay in the fight and ask for help. Bring another gun. If you were in a firefight and you were outnumbered and help was just a phone call away, you would pick up the phone and ask for help. 100%, all of us would. And that's the importance of this QRF, being willing to reach out and ask for help, being willing to say, I'm not going to do this alone. And I get it. It's harder than it seems. I went through it. I didn't want to Google anything. I didn't want to look anything up. But like I said, like one moment of vulnerability led to actually getting help and going to a place that saved my life. And that's the truth for a lot of us, that we just need to be vulnerable for a little bit, man. And continuing to explore your journey, dude, like going from that, I know it wasn't like a day and night, everything was saved. Like, tell us about your journey. Like, when did things, how bad did it get? And when did you ask for help? This episode is brought to you by Titan SARMS. Head on over to titansarms.com and buy a stack today. Use my code CDenny10 to get your first stack. I recommend the Lean Stack 2. Start living your best life. Titan SARMS. No junk, no bullshit, just results.
I think, I had a unique retirement. Like I said, I had that cancer scare, which extended my retirement. I was ready to retire in 2020, hang it up. I hit right at 20 years. I wasn't going to make E10, like so many pursue for whatever reason.
It'll happen.
Whatever. My career was, I was a terminal E7 shitbird. Like I had no, whatever. I was deemed unfit to get paid to lead men. So, for probably good reason, but the, with that, they like, well, you can't get out if they think you have cancer. It took, 18 months to get probed, to get the colonoscopy, the Chinese finger cuffs, like the down the throat and up the chute, whatever. Got the
Where's that video? Who's got that video?
It's on my OnlyFans. Anyway, it took a long time. So I extended, took the blood money. And so fortunately for me, my retirement took way longer than I had planned. And so, I went into definitely a darkness. I did all those things. I isolated from dudes. I wasn't on the team anymore. That's devastating, right? When you come off the team thread, and it's for good reason, they got to move on to the next mission. But when they like, you've been removed, or you have to like say your piece and go away, and that's been a part of your daily life,
No,
that,
dude.
and that's, it's heartbreaking.
Bro, I still remember it. Like, and then like I remember, like the worst feeling is getting removed. It's like getting like pushed off the ice shelf on an iceberg by yourself. It's like, no.
Even if they send like a, hey man, sorry, but like we're talking about the range tomorrow, like you can't be here anymore.
Yeah.
We have a new guy. He's in your seat, and he's like, who is this weirdo? Like, hey, I'll tell you, on the solution side, right? Like, because we talk a lot of doom and gloom and stuff like that. So I think we've addressed a couple solutions, which is don't isolate, reach out, whatever. But when I say keep the team thread, or go back, and go back to the OGs, right? Like the OG team thread. So
yes,
we had a guy pass away on a dirt bike. It's been, man, almost 3 years now. Like, but everybody came back for his funeral. A lot of us hadn't seen each other in years. Ran into a guy who had gone through his own like mental health journey and crisis, was still believing like all these terrible things. He was like 08, 07, came back from Iraq, and he was messed up, massive PTSD, incapacitating. And he came up on the net for help. And at the time, we weren't in the business of really like getting people help and getting them back in the fight. They were like, all right, off you go. And he left. And he was harboring a lot of stuff about that, thinking he'd let the team down and that everybody hated him. And nothing could be further the truth. Guys were reaching out to him, trying to find him for years. He moved to like California, became this like off-grid hippie. But he came back for our friend's funeral, and they shared, and he's real timid and he had long hair, barely recognizable, and talked to him like, and people started telling us like, dude, I remember you used Bravo Smashed for sure. But when we lost Rob Rolfing in combat in a scenario, he was with him. We were good friends, and Rob was gone the moment he was hit, but that didn't absolve him in his own mind of not being able to save him or whatever. But he reconnected with those guys and he realized he'd been believing these falsehoods for so long in a vacuum, right? Those conversations you have with yourself when you isolate and there's no one to tell you, like, Denny, that's stupid. You're wrong.
Yeah.
Like, and so they're all chatting, they're all talking, they hadn't talked to each other in years. And so I made a thread of the OG. It was 5-3 was the team back then, 053. Made a thread, dropped a shit bomb in the text thread, talking trash about one of them, and then left the thread and just ghosted out of it. So they couldn't rebuttal, couldn't give me shit back, nothing. And they're still crushing it. They're visiting each other's families in Cali. They're getting together for stuff. They're starting reunions. Bring back that OG team thread, I guess, is what I'm saying. Like, just because you left the team thread, you can start a sidebar like we do in every other team where we keep off the top 3 and just talk shit about them. Right? Do the same thing. So anyway, we talk about solutions. Like, bring back a team thread. Pull the OGs from that deployment, and start talking shit again and start connecting again. Ultimately, like, connection is the cure to isolation, and curing isolation is what keeps guys in the fight.
Absolutely, man. It's whether you call it an LGOP, freaking ODA, OG, old gray beards, whatever you have to do, connect with people. People want to hear from you. Trust me. You have friends, you got brothers that miss you, and they want to hear. You don't have to pretend like everything's okay. It's okay to be vulnerable and be honest and say, "Hey, man, I'm gonna do well. Got divorced, lost my job." All these stresses are real, man. And when you can sit down and talk to somebody honestly and open and be like, "Oh man, like, yeah, you're going through this, but you'll get through it." It's like anything else, man. We forget how resilient and how strong we really are when we're in the moment, when we're suffering by ourselves. But all it takes is somebody sitting down with you and talking and laughing and reflecting to give you that truth of like, "Hey, man, everything dissipates. You're going to kick ass tomorrow. You're going to find a new job. You're going to get through this divorce. You're going to get through this rough patch. And before long, you're going to see time heals all wounds. You're going to be able to move forward." But we don't get that by ourselves. You're not going to be looking in the mirror and giving yourself that positive pep talk. You're not. You're going to be sitting there in that same misery, in that same pain over and over and over again. It really takes connecting and having somebody that's around you spitting some sort of positive message towards you.
Well, and the reality is, like, on these QRFs that we've gotten to somebody, these guys are thriving. So, like, that's the other message. And I told that guy a couple months ago, when we were on the phone with him, I gave him that raw, like, one of your kids. I hope it's your least favorite kid, man. But it's like there's a other side of this where you're crushing life. So those are those testimonies, and some of them to me, like, they're pretty raw. And I don't, you wait till a guy's ready to share that, be vulnerable about that. But there's a host of guys, I mean, who've gone through the ringer, who are thriving on the side. That guy that has that job in Korea, and now he's calling the shots. He's in that band, whatever, and he's like, "Hey, now I want to be back in Germany full time, and I want the same salary and whatever." And they're like, "Absolutely," because we're high performers. We're gonna be high performers on the other side of that. That's gonna happen. You can't, like, just let that circumstance right now completely bury you. You're gonna get over. Another guy, last year, it's been a while, but had a pistol in his mouth and a bottle of tequila, or a shotgun, I think. And we got guys to him. Guys were doing, like, triangulating on his photo metadata, looking at photos from his wife's Facebook to, like, the last, like, kid drop off. We got to him. I mean, they essentially, like, breach her up, like knock that out of your mouth, whatever. And then they went for coffee and they hung out. Guy's crushing it. He's looking to get back to the foundation right now. He's making so much money now. It's like side quests for other stuff he's doing. He's also brilliant, one of those echo types, probably on the spectrum. But he's incredible, like many of us. But there's a path on the other side. Like I said, that guy that's now in the Korea, like, it was over. Another guy, who Ant Fox Sanders, who just retired, phenomenal behavioral health guy in our space. He's kind of the OG of QRFs before we ever called it that. Talk about a embedded behavioral health officer who's willing to get his hands dirty. But he went to a guy in a park who stand off with the police. And that guy was at his end. His wife had already told him, like, you can get help, you can do all that, but this is over. We're never going to reconcile. We're never going to whatever, which is a fair take from her, right? Another guy that went to Warriors Heart, another plug for Warriors Heart, went to Warriors Heart, dried out. I mean, that guy now is Mr. Equestrian dad with his kids. He's playing like soccer leagues. Him and his wife are like, I mean, elite model relationship, restorative. It's incredible. A guy pumps me up. He was, I just talked to him again the other day. But there's a thriving path on the other side, and you might be in a scenario darker than the couple that I just mentioned. I don't know, man. It's not too many lower levels than where those guys were. One was in a complete, his mind was attacking him. He didn't believe what he was seeing. One was so dark, like kids and wife, we don't care. We hope you kill yourself. I mean, that's a hard one to hear, but they're like, instead of taking that path, get better, put in the work, man, go back to selection, and
Yeah.
put on that get your legs strong, start rucking, get fucking strong. So we go to another solution, touch grass and move every day. Like the sunlight on your eyeballs is another solution. When you're in that darkness, well, I'm lucky. I live in Colorado Springs, 330 sunny days a year, right? The holiday blues is legitimate, but get outside, move your body, touch grass. Other solutions for the
Absolutely,
darkness.
man. If you don't know where to start getting back in the gym. That's like one of the first things a lot of us forget. Just get out and move your body. Get out, and it's shameless plug. Join us on Whoop, man. Like you wanna see the reality of it. We're all broke. We're all fucking dealing with injuries and stuff. But every day I wake up and I look at that little scoreboard, that leaderboard, and I see other Green Berets out there, other soldiers, other service members. Because that's the cool thing about this Whoop community. It's everybody, anybody and everybody you can get in there. And I see other people trying to do better. We're not trying to become the next fucking hyper athlete. We're not supple leopards. We're just broke dudes wanting to move a little bit better each and every day. Get fit, get active, because there's a real connection between your body and your mind. If you're not feeling good, if you don't know what's going on, at least commit yourself to get outside and do a workout. Do something. It helps with the endorphins. It helps feel a little bit better. And then you're not isolated. And maybe you'll run into an old friend. Maybe you'll start talking with somebody. If you don't know where to start, just start by moving again. Start by getting out, working out, man. It's truly a gateway to getting better. And then that's what we got to do. Often we just need to do one thing right for ourselves at the beginning of the day. And for me, it's just trying to get out there and do a workout. Walk your dog. Get out. The world's filled with amazing positive interactions, and be willing to be part of it. Engage, man.
Yeah, the movement piece, get sun on your eyes. Like,
Yeah.
it can't be understated. I just went to that Talons Reach Foundation,
Yeah,
run
dude.
by Nick Jones, a MARSOC guy. That was restorative. Plug for those guys. It was a eagle regeneration program, I think is what they call it. But I was we had a brutal suicide season, two kind of back to back last year. I was feeling it, like you eat sadness, and you don't program that stuff in, and you're not sleeping, like you refuse to take the advice of all the people you have on your show. But it'll
Sorry,
burn
Dr. Taylor.
it'll burn you down. Deanna Sarter, our CFO, my wife, a couple other the gals in the foundation gave me like almost an intervention, like, hey, you're taking a mandatory break. And we have this partnership with Talons Reach, so they sent me there. We played every day. Serious. Like I was barefoot or in flip flops almost the whole time. In the winter classes, they jump on sleds and snowmobile through the mountains in Montana. They go fishing, we cold plunge, but I literally, my phone didn't work as soon as I got there, which was incredible, liberating. But that helped catalyst for me, like the non-negotiables, which means I got to get outside every day because of how good I felt while I was there. It's, 5-6 days of forced mandatory fun in all the best ways. And seeing the sun. So I like had feet on the grass literally, and and played. We threw spears. Was like cold plunged, like wrestled, like scrapped, like fought, like goofed around, and like I mean it was so like um yeah, I had to make non-negotiables for me. So for my non-negotiables, I got to get outside every day. I got to move every day. Those are the two that just they can't miss. So if I like it's 10 o'clock at night and I have not left the house, or all I did was drive, like I go grab the dog, and or I just go outside and take a walk around the block, like for my own, like what's my streak to keep it
Yeah.
alive or whatever. I've done, even like this last week, I've done air squats in the house. Like shit, I haven't
Hell
moved
yeah.
today. I'm doing 100 squats right now, like or whatever. You got to have those non-negotiables, and I tell you, it changes things for you. Like
It
it'll
does,
it'll change
man.
that mopey attitude, that wallowing in that stuff. Yeah.
This episode is also brought to you by Precision Wellness Group. Getting your hormones optimized shouldn't be a difficult task, and Dr. Taylor Bosley has changed the game. Head on over to precisionwellnessgroup.com, enroll, and become a patient today. Yeah, it's easy to fall into that impossible mindset. I can't get out of this. This will never get better. It's impossible. And don't let yourself slide that far out. Like, reach out for your friends, reach out to people you love. Hell, reach out to Cody. I'll put his number in the fucking episode description. Sorry, not sorry. The most amazing thing I've ever done was start putting out my number on here. You got to be willing to take a lot of negative. There's a lot of people that send some horrible shit. Every once in a while, you get some really good shit. You get really, really positive shit, or people asking for a resource. So it's worth it, man. It's worth having the two phones. Again, 850-376-8101. If you're in trouble, need help, or just want to hear some positivity, hit me up. Be mindful. I do have to get some sleep at some point, but if I'm up, if I'm available, I'll always reach. I'll always text back or call back. Please, no nudes. No, no nudes. Just that's simple. Just please don't do that. Dude, somebody, who was it? Oh, gosh, I forget. Carry the Fire. Was it Carry the Fire? No, there's another meme account that I follow that's really shit hot on the memes. They put out, like, you remember the old rap album T-shirts, like
Yeah.
from the early 2000s?
Yeah.
They did one for Nancy Pelosi. It was fucking
You are
hilarious.
so fixated on this woman. That is
Dude,
wild.
it's the images people have created with AI. It's hilarious. It's I love memes. It's part of my thing. It's my thing. I enjoy it.
They're healing, man. It's the way it works, right? Like that's part of
Yeah,
keeping the team thread is doing that stuff,
yeah,
is sharing that stuff. Shared misery, shared humor, the absolutely
yeah.
foul dark humor that
Dude,
we all have for
as long
sure.
as long as I'm part of this organization, the memes will flow. I've had to throttle back because I've got so many things to put out there, especially with asking for donors. But I need to get it's for the culture. I know you. I know what you like. 'Cause it's what I like. So the memes continue, and it's it's helped us grow. So thank you, and enjoy. More to come. Before I let you go, Cody, what are some other things that you've identified in life, in this process of being there and advocating for others, that has helped you, like focusing on like things like family, working out? What are some other tools and tips that you can give to the audience and people that are, maybe still stuck and they're still going through it?
I think to avoid that isolation, one thing I've started programming in is I'll go meet a buddy. Try to do it once a week. Something that's just
Mm,
for me. Doesn't have to be work related, doesn't have to be, or it shouldn't be, right? Whether that's coffee, I try to do more coffees than beers these days. But
good man.
I'll still go do that. Or another QRF case we had, him and a few other dudes that have gotten sober and found out after the fact, like it was a secret, hush hush. Oh no, did you get sober? They get together and rock climb, like
Nice.
once every couple of weeks. That another QRF we had down in Texas, he does I think we talked about it last time, F3. It's like fitness, faith, and
Yeah.
uh whatever, some fellowship. He does that. Um so even like programming something as simple as a cup of coffee, every other week if
Hmm.
you can't program it in. But every week kept touching base with just a buddy just to hang out. Uh Go do something, go get a sweat sesh, Colorado, I can jump on one of the mountains, one of these easy hikes, whatever. Go take your dogs out. I'd say, twofold, right? You get outside, that's a double whammy. Make your non-negotiables be, it sounds like a soft serve to me. Get outside and move. Those two, and in combination you can knock out two at once, right? Um, Chuck Norris can kill two stones with one bird. So it's old school. Uh but make those non-negotiables, touch grass, get outside, and then go link up with somebody. I keep saying it. Call two dudes a week. It's easy one, man. Call while you're driving to work, right? Just curb your road rage for like 15 minutes while you talk to a buddy, or let him join you during your road rage journey. But just call those two dudes, and it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be someone you're worried about or who meets those indicators. It just call somebody, because it's as much for you as it is for them. If you call two guys a week, you're gonna find someone who needs something, and you can start chatting about it or acknowledging what it is and that you both share that, and you can start working the problem set. Obviously, the foundation, we are adaptive. We are quick react. We respond quickly. So you have the QRFs that are crisis mode for sure. But I mean, Katie Matsky, our program, Green Beret spouse, she is monitoring comms constantly. When someone brings in a request, it doesn't go very long. I mean, minutes oftentimes. That email, it's not an email on some of these bigger organizations that like you fill out a form and like maybe. I mean, it is a quick response. If it's more than a few hours, it's because she had a long flight. And usually she's like, "Hey Danny, I need you to cover down on the email while I'm flying." I mean, it's that quick. You'll get an answer, whether it's the answer you like or not. Usually it is. We don't turn down many requests. You make those calls and you find out someone needs a furnace. They're broke, things are rough. Just gave away a furnace.
Yeah.
That was a blessing, for that family. That's incredible. But buy dryers or washers for Gold Star families who are going through it. Plug someone into behavioral health care, grief counseling, marriage counseling. Man, just all good
Yeah.
things.
Psychedelic therapy, all sorts of
All
stuff,
the
man.
alternative therapies, all of
Yep.
them. I mean, not every tool is the right fit, but man, we've got a lot at our disposal. We have phenomenal partners. Hunts, retreats, that outdoor recreation stuff is healing.
Yep.
There's a reason there's hundreds of nonprofits dedicated to getting outside and hunting, fishing,
Because it works.
snowmobiling, skiing, because it works, man, and because guys who've done it are telling you, dude, this healed me. That pulled me out of the darkness.
Yeah. Yeah. And that stuff, I mean, it's a lot of work behind the scenes, but the people involved in this foundation care and they are part of the community. That's the one thing. You're not getting people that don't understand your needs or not, that are outside the community. Their wives, Gold Star family members, former Green Berets, guys are there. They've lived it. They've been there. And it takes a lot of money and resources. And that's why I'm asking you again to please scan this QR code right here. Just scan it. Donate $25 and you get entered into the Security Halt raffle giveaway. It helps. $25 here, $25 there, and it helps us continue because, like Cody said, like we don't sit on a request. That something comes in, and we are trying to save lives. So please donate whatever you can because it goes straight to the Green Beret or their family. Again, shameless plug. You get entered to a giveaway. You can win some awesome stuff: a Whoop 5.0, a custom knife from a Roybore's Forge, and right now, like. You could have your very own piece of shit high point. I don't know why he's making me do this, but thank you, Greg. It's you if you wanted a job gun, now you get one.
If you can't donate, right? Also, like we need help, right? I'm located Colorado Springs. We throw guys on flights. But I'm always looking for those sleeper cells regionally, right? So if you want to be involved in the QRF, I mean, I'll warn you up front. It's all encompassing when it happens. It's all hands on deck. You got to drop what you're doing, um, and get on it. But the more people we have in that space, so I'll do a shameless recruiting plug for it. Because that's what when I find something that's not local to me that I can't just jump in the truck and head that way. I get on LinkedIn. I do a filtered search for like, who do I know in Wisconsin, Green Bay, Wisconsin right now, who can get face to face with that guy within minutes, hours. I go on LinkedIn. I go on the SFA chapter local. And so like, if you're one of those people and you want to help or set up your own chapter, my vision would be one day we have like a regional set, for aligned or whatever. And then there's
Yeah.
like a DA6, right? That you're on duty for January. It's our like funeral detail DA6. Like you're on for January, and then all right, man, pass it on to Cody for February and whatever. That's like that's the vision, right? Of what QRF looks like. So we just don't miss these guys. But yeah, be aware of the sensors. Be aware of the indicators and warnings. And man, just recognize like there is thriving on the other side of that, man. That it is, you are not unique in your circumstances of going through it. And if we all start chatting about that, and you're gonna find it. And there is such a positive on the other side, man. Like it's a lot of why a lot of us are in the foundation, is because we come through that stuff. And man, I mean, my relationship with my wife and kids is so night and day better on the other side of that than probably it was the entire time I was active duty, right? And so I say probably 100% better. 100% better. That is preposterous to even suggest otherwise. Like definitely better. And you can be super equestrian dad like my buddy, or super sports dad, like our buddy, or repairing those relationships with your kids and thriving. I mean, it's just positive on the other side. There's no reason to think you're not going to be a stellar performer on the other side.
Yeah. It's a perfect place to wrap it up, man. Just understand any sort of struggle, any sort of pain that you're experiencing, everything dissipates, man. I was there. I lived through it. And now you understand the power of time, the power of allowing yourself to believe that things are going to get better. Just understand the suffering will not continue for the rest of your life. There are resources and people that care and love you. You just got to be willing to just reach out, get on that text thread, reach out to your friends. Cody, thank you so much for being here, man. One more thing, if people want to get a hold of you or get involved with the foundation, where can they go?
Well, you can go to www.specialforcesfoundation.org. You can call me on my cell phone, obviously night or day. Denny, I'll put it out there, or you can take it down, 719-359-1909. You can email me at my foundation email, C as in Charlie, .halfpop, HALFPOP, at specialforcesfoundation.org. Not half poop, as Denny has attempted to message me on at least 2 occasions. C.halfpop at specialforcesfoundation.org. And then we have an info at specialforcesfoundation.org. That's the one that is also monitored round the clock constantly. Yeah, reach out, man. And it doesn't have to be you. If you think a buddy might be and you don't want to reach out to him, let us do it. We'll lie. We'll tell him he won a prize. We'll tell him he won that High Point pistol. And
looking perfect.
and we'll Trojan horse it, whatever. But yeah, let's help the buddies, keeping an idea of those indicators and warnings. Get outside, touch grass, move your body, and just know, man, you can thrive on the other side. And that guy that's going through it can too. So everybody who listens this day is a sensor out there. So if you don't know how to help somebody, reach out. We'll help you get there. We'll hold your hand while you help them. We'll give you tools, whatever that looks like.
Absolutely. And just one more time right here, here's the QR code again. If you've got $25, I'd really appreciate it if you would. Just scan that QR code and donate to Special Forces Foundation today. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Thank you for staying in the fight. Cody, thank you again, and we'll see you all next time.
Thanks, Denny. Appreciate it, brother.
Absolutely. Secure Out Podcast is proudly sponsored by Titan SARMS. Head to the episode description and check out Titan SARMS today.